My name is Mr. Wayne, and today we are going to build a plane. Well, make a paper airplane out of paper. Now, in terms of the type of paper you can use, regular copy paper works, that's what this is, or you can use construction paper, and you can choose any of your favorite colors if you want, green. I will say construction paper is a little bit thicker, and I also have here some origami paper, which is very wonderfully patterned and colored, but you can see it's kind of small, so if you want something a little bit bigger, you can use a bigger sheet of paper. So we're going to make a fold, because a fold right down through the center is like the main part of what it will take to make this thing. And you want to fold it along the long side of the paper. So we're just going to place it down. And the thing about folding paper in this way, you really have to be careful to make sure that your edges all line up, everything is nice and even, because you want it to be even and symmetrical, because that helps with the design. And, you might be asking, what do I mean by symmetrical? So symmetrical just means symmetry. It means that whatever happens on one side, you have the same thing on the other side. For instance, this is folded in half, so this is symmetrical. So what's happening on this side is the same as what's happening on that side. So we just want to keep everything even and symmetrical. That's why it's very important as you go through to make sure that you're very careful how you're folding. And notice how I'm using my fingers to run down the center, that fold. That's called creasing. Just making my creases nice and tight. Now, because of how we're using this paper and folding, I'm going to make sure that I crease it one way, and then I'm going to fold it back on itself, and I'm going to crease it the other way, because I need it to be able to go both ways, so to speak. All right, now I'm going to take one of the top corners and fold it in towards the center line, like so. Notice I'm being very careful. I want to make sure that the edge that I'm folding in lines up with the center line, and I know it's a little hard to see, but we can get it. We can do it. Now, if you really want to, but you don't have to, it's not required, you can take a pencil and lightly trace that center line. That way you can really see it. But I think you can do it without that. Then you folded one edge, you want to do the other one just the same. One corner down and make sure that the edge lines up with the center line. Again, we're keeping everything symmetrical. What we do to one side, we want to do to the other side. And I'm running my fingers down the edges, make sure that my creases are nice and tight. All right, so look at that. So when we have something that's shaped like this, so what do you think this is shaped like? What do you think? Could be, I don't know, a house, or it could be the top part of a rocket, which is kind of what we're building. But anyway, we'll keep going. We have some more folds to make. So we've folded the corners in. Now we're going to take the edges on both, one on each side, the edges of those folded corners, and we're going to fold it in towards the center line, just like similarly to what we did before. Yeah. There you go. So you have the one side that looks like that, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, I'm creasing as tightly as possible, because the better your crease is, the better the plane. All right, so then we have this shape. So what do you think that looks like? Yeah, it's kind of triangular. It's not a true triangle because we have these edges down here at the bottom. But yeah, this word true triangle, the kind of triangle that is symmetrical on both sides is called an isosceles triangle. No, that's a big college word, but look it up. You might need to know how to spell that. So here's something. So we're going to take what we just did and we're going to fold it towards the smooth side. We're going to fold it in on itself like that. Now, something that I do that you might not see other people do when they're making paper airplanes to use clear tape. I'm just using regular old cellophane tape. And I do this in order to just keep everything together. So I'm just putting a bit of tape on the part where I want the folds to stay connected to the main part of the paper. All right, so now I'm going to make another fold. We're going to make our wings. So if we hold this up like this, with our folds going this way, right? The edges of the paper going this way. We have the bottom ridge. I'm calling this now the bottom ridge. We want to fold the top ridge of one of the wings down towards the bottom ridge, and you want to make sure that it's even. Because you want to make sure that everything lines up straight as possible. You get it nice and straight first, and then you use your fingers. And even your fingernails. I have very little bitty fingernails, but I've used that to just kind of make my crease nice and tight. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Because with symmetry, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. Making sure my edges all line up. All right, beautiful. So we've got something nice and tight. Now we're going to open it up, and you'll see that there we go. It looks like a paper airplane. That's what it is. Haha. Now, a couple more things, or maybe three. See how the back opens up like that? With my design on my airplane, I like to make sure that my planes are really, really tight. So I'm just going to close this up, and I'm just going to put a little bit of tape, clear tape, on the back, just to keep it, just fold it over like that, just to keep it together. Ooh, I didn't put it in the right place. Let me put it up a little higher. You don't have to use tape, but I just find that it flies better. One other thing with the tape. I like to take a little bit of the tape, and because I like to have the nose of the planes, this is the nose at the tip, to be reinforced, because when you fly through the air, it often will land nose first. So just to reinforce it, I take a little bit of tape, and I put this at the very, very end of it. I don't want to tape the wings closed. I just want to make sure that the nose has some reinforcement at the end, and that'll just make it nice. Again, nice. It's all about being nice and tight. So now I want to open up the wings like so. So here we go. Almost done though, just because I'm a little bit extra. I like to give my wings, so here's one that I've done. See how I folded up the edges like so? And that just gives it a nice kind of rocket feel. So I'm going to do the same thing. So all I do is that I fold it down, fold both sides of the wings down. And then, this is a judgment call. You can fold this up. You can use as much of it or as little of it as possible. I try to use just a little bit, maybe just if I was measuring this, 1/4 of an inch, or if that. All right, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other wing, like so. Yeah, and I make those creases nice and tight, but I'm not going to keep it folded in. See how I'm kind of unfolding it out so that it maintains its shape. So here we go. It's here. We have built a plane and we're going to for life.